dates this morning, right? I don't show any.
My recently printed calendar also doesn't have any.
That's good.
May the interpreter be excused, Your Honor.
Yes, you may. I don't believe we have any Spanish speakers this morning, so have a great day.
Thank you so much. You as well.
No Spanish speakers, right?
Not today.
Thank you.
Yes, that's it. So you're not.
Your Honor, good morning. This is the jail.
Morning.
Are we ready to get this show on the road, sir?
Let's do it.
You look ready as ever. It's gonna be a good day.
Thank you. I got all gussied up just for you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Please tell me your name.
Caleb Lambert.
All right, Mr. Lambert, this is your initial appearance. I've seen you on a few different things this morning. They're all out of different misdemeanor courthouses here in Pima County. The first is going to be a case report that alleges that you committed shoplifting, theft, and resisting arrest. This is alleged to have happened yesterday evening, around 7:20 in the evening. And then we're going to talk about some older city court files. As it relates to everything we're talking about, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint an attorney for you, sir, because I'm going to order that you be held in custody. And so, as it relates to the to the justice court matter, I'm going to hold you, sir, on a bond of $500 cash or secure. And I'm going to order, sir, that if you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, that you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, you do not return to the incident location. And so your next court date, sir, is going to be an in-custody pretrial hearing, and that's going to be tomorrow. So it's coming up pretty quick. It'll be tomorrow at 1 p.m. And you will have more information on the case at that time. And so, sir, one other thing that I need to advise you is that if you do bond out, find yourself out of custody, really important that you come back to court, because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Now let's talk about the city court stuff. So I'm looking at some older city court files. It looks like they're from 2019, and they allege a failure to appear in relation to some charges involving threatening, intimidating, possession of drug paraphernalia, theft or shoplifting, criminal trespass in the third degree, a couple counts of that. As to these matters, sir, I'm going to hold you on a bond of $500 cash secured as it relates to the city court matters. And I'm going to order, sir, again, that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages. You do not, you have no contact with the victims. I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you, sir, as it relates to these cases, the city court cases, I should say. And the next hearing will be on December 18th, 2025, 1:45 in the afternoon. That's going to be a video review. One thing I didn't tell you is who your attorney is going to be on the justice court case. So let me pop back to that real quick. I'm appointing Carlos Betancourt to represent you on that, sir. So he'll be there tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon to talk to you a bit more about what's going on in justice court. So I'm sorry?
Sorry, Your Honor, is at the pretrial, could I be released at the pretrial?
I'm not going to do that, sir. We got a few files that are stacked up here, and I'm not going to do that, especially given the age of the city court matters. So you may be able to get them resolved relatively quickly if that's something that you're interested in doing. But for today's sake, I am going to order that you are held on those bonds, sir. So that's
No, I mean, I'm sorry, sir. I mean, at the pretrial.
Oh, it's possible when you get seen tomorrow that they will release you on the justice court matter, and then when you're seen on the 18th, you might also be released then. The only decision I'm making for today's sake is that you're held for today's sake. So you may not be in custody more than like the next, day or week potentially, but that's not up to me. That's going to be up to the judges that you see on the other matters at those hearings in the next week or so. All righty, sir. So again, if you bond out, sir, please come back. Really important that you do that. And if you don't, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And I believe that covers it, sir. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, man.
Welcome. Yep. Good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your name?
Diana Cohen.
All right, just a moment. All right, so Ms. Cohen, I am seeing you on one matter out of Tucson City Court alleging that you committed 2 counts of disorderly conduct, both alleged to be acts of domestic violence. Ma'am, I'm willing to release you so long as you agree not to possess or consume any alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs, and you commit no further acts of domestic violence. Are you willing to do that?
Yes.
Okay, and so the pretrial services was able to have a chat with the listed victims in these matters, and none of them oppose your release. All of them are okay with future contact. And so for that reason, I'm not going to restrict your ability to have contact with them and so forth, but just important to, commit no further acts of domestic violence. And you are, of course, presumed innocent as it relates to this matter. One other thing I want to advise you, ma'am, is that anything you say about this case can and will be used against you. And your next hearing is going to be an arraignment. That's going to be in Tucson City Court. That's going to be in front of Judge Million on January 13th. That's January 13th, 2026, 1:30 in the afternoon. You will get paperwork that says all of this. And
Okay.
if you do, you're going to be out of custody because I'm releasing you, but it is important that you come back to court, ma'am, because if you do not do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you very much. You are excused.
Gates,
Good morning, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Good. Could you please tell me your name?
Derek Levi Gates.
All right, Mr. Gates, this is your initial appearance, sir. I've seen you on charges that date back to 2019. And also, just as an FYI, it looks like you're also being held in relation to a couple matters out of Pima County Superior Court from 2018. So I don't have any decision making over those offenses today, or the allegations, I should say. I'm just dealing with the city court stuff. And so as it relates to those matters, sir, I am going to hold you on a $500 cash secured bond as it relates to that. You may want to sit tight and before deciding whether or not to post that, assuming that you have the ability to post that until you figure out what's going on with your Superior Court stuff, because you may or may not be released on that. Again, I don't have any control over that today. As to everything that we're talking about today, sir, you are presumed innocent and you do have the right to remain silent. So just wanted to give you the heads up on that. Your next hearing on the city court stuff that I am seeing you on, sir, is going to be a video review. It's on December 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Million. And so additional conditions as it relates to this case that I'm talking to you about, this is out of the allegations from 2019, is that you have no contact with the victim, who is listed as Maria de Los Angeles, Madrid. I'm going to appoint the city public defender to represent you, sir. I'm ordering that you, if you are out of custody, you possess no firearms or weapons. Probably a good thing to also order it, even if you are in custody. I'm also ordering that you commit no further acts of domestic violence, sir. Okay? And so, go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say, if I post the $500, will I be able to be released, or?
So the short answer is no, because you're being held on the Superior Court matters. So you're going to need to get in, and that's just in the short term. So what I can't give you legal advice, but you probably want to wait and see what happens with the Superior Court matters before you attempt to post the bond. You will have a hearing on the Superior Court matters at some time in the near future, either later this week or probably early next, at which time release conditions will be addressed as it relates to those cases. So you may want to see what the answer is on that first before you try to post, because if you were to post that $500 today, sir, you will still be held in custody. So it may make sense to wait a little bit. Does that make sense, sir? Okay, all right, and I believe that that covers it, sir. If you do find yourself out of custody one way or another, really important that you come back to court, sir, because if you don't do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Thank you very much.
Right, Lopez?
Yes. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Please. Good morning.
Morning,
Would you please tell me your name?
Rita Lopez.
All right, a moment. So, Ms. Lopez, ma'am, I am seeing you on a couple matters that allege that you failed to appear in relation to two different allegations alleging criminal trespass in the third degree. This is your initial appearance. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about any of these matters could be used against you. You do have the right to be represented by an attorney. I am appointing one for you. It's going to be the city public defender. And so I am going to hold you on a $250 cash and secured bond, ma'am. Just given some of the failure to appear issues that I am being advised of. Plus, it looks like you may have been previously released to pretrial services on these city court matters. So in any event, it's a $250 cash secured bond. I am appointing the city public defender, ordering that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs, that you not return to the incident location that is associated with at least one of these criminal trespass allegations. That's 3202 North First Avenue. So if you're familiar with the Circle K that's at First Avenue and Fort Lowell, please do not go back to that area. Okay, if you post that bond, ma'am, really important that you come back to court, because if you don't, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Thank you very much. You are excused.
Gotcha. She advised real.
Sir.
Oh.
Good
morning, Your Honor.
Please tell me your name, sir.
Drew Lewis Cohen.
So, Mr. Cohen, this is your initial appearance, sir. You have been charged with one count. It's one count of assault. It's alleged to be an act of domestic violence. You, sir, have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about this case can be used against you. And so, sir, if I order you to possess or consume no alcoholic beverages and commit no further acts of domestic violence, are you willing to follow those conditions?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
In light of that, I am going to release you. You're going to be released on your promise to appear. Your next hearing is going to be in Tucson City Court. You're going to get paperwork that says this, but it's in Tucson City Court on January 13th, 2026 at 1:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be in front of Judge Million. The listed victim in this case is not opposed to future contact with you, does not oppose your release. So I'm not going to make any orders that restrict your ability to have contact with her. However, please have no further acts of domestic violence. And then I believe that covers it, other than to let you know, sir, that really important that you come back to court on January 13th at 1:30, because if you do not do that, a warrant will likely issue for your arrest and you could be back in custody, right?
Yes, Your Honor. May I ask a question?
Sure.
When was this
alleged,
Yeah, so
was just when was because last night or when I was arrested, I hadn't seen her in
yeah, and so
some hours
I'll give you a little bit of, yeah, that's
prior.
a good question, sir. So I'm going to give you a little bit of info about the allegation, but don't tell me any of the facts about what happened or what your point of view is on it, because this is all being recorded. It could be used against you in the future. But the allegation, sir, is that on November 7th, so that would be a little over a month ago, you were having an argument with Miss Cohen, and that it turned physical, and that that essentially is it in a nutshell. So November 7th is the incident date, sir. And so that's what it relates to. So that's about all I can tell you at this time. Please just come back to court, sir, and you'll have the ability to resolve it then. You are presumed innocent, so nobody's assuming anything at this point, all right? It's just important that you come back to court at that time. You commit no further acts of domestic violence. You understand?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Alrighty. Have a good day. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. I need to hire an attorney. I don't know anything about your case. Okay.
And you can hire an attorney, sir, if you want to hire an attorney, you can. I'm not appointing one because I'm not holding you in custody, so it's completely up to you. But you'd certainly have that right, sir, if you want to engage with an attorney. We're just not going to appoint one for you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Counsel, this is your first vote.
Thank you.
Are you my attorney?
For Justin. Okay.
Good morning, sir. Could you please tell me your name?
Good morning. My name is Clinton Saunders.
All right, Mr. Saunders, this is your initial appearance, sir. So you have been arrested on charges that allege that you committed possession of a narcotic drug, aggravated driving under the influence, criminal damage, and then possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm also seeing you on a failure to appear at a Tucson City Court that relates to a DUI allegation from October 4th of 2025. As it relates to all of these matters, sir, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these cases can be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney at all proceedings in this case. I'm going to appoint the.
Yes, Your Honor. I was
Hang on, don't. It's important that you not tell me anything about what may or may not have happened because you're presumed innocent. And importantly, anything you say, sir, is being recorded. We're here in open court, so I wouldn't say anything without running it by Ms. Daubert, who's seated next to you. Speaking of which, Ms. Daubert is the attorney that's going to help you out this morning. And so in order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I've reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and the state's recommendation. I haven't said this yet, but I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. But it looks like the state's recommending a $5,000 bond plus release to pretrial services in the event that that bond is posted. Mr. Poston, is anything further you'd like me to know?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Daubert,
Just one moment, Your Honor.
take your time.
Your Honor, we recognize that Mr. Saunders has a criminal history here, but he wants the court to know that he is really trying to do better. He has engaged in services. He has an appointment with La Frontera today. And he is asking that the court release him to the supervision of pretrial services. If you're unwilling to do that, any sort of bond that you impose is going to be a barrier to his release. So $1,100.
Very much. So based on the information that's before the court, I am going to order a $3,000 cash secured bond as it relates to the felony matter, sir. Additionally, if you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. You are also ordered not to drive without a valid license. Do not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Really important that you follow those two conditions, sir. Additionally, that you possess no firearms or weapons. I am appointing the public defender to represent you, sir, on that. And then moving on to the city court matter. So I did mention, sir, that I'm seeing you on a city court matter that alleges that you failed to appear in relation to a driving under the influence allegation. You're also being seen on a criminal trespass allegation. And from mid-November, these are all out of city. I'm sorry, that's out of the city of South Tucson, it looks like. So as it relates to the city court and South Tucson matter, sir, I am going to gonna hold you on a bond of $250 on those matters. I am gonna appoint, that's gonna be, I'm gonna appoint the city public defender to represent you, sir. And so your next court date as it relates to these matters is going to be a video review. That's going to be on December 18th at 1:45 in the afternoon. That's going to be in front of Judge Blue. And sir, if you post bond, find yourself out of custody or order to possess and consume alcoholic beverages, and then with that.
Your Honor, could you give me the PH date one more time? My apologies.
Yeah, it's no problem. I might have not said it. So the preliminary hearing date will be December 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. So that is for the felony matter, of course, and then noting the felony hold as it relates to the city court matters. So $3,000 bond on the felony matters, sir, $250 bond on the misdemeanor matters. It's also the time set for your arraignment as it relates to these misdemeanors matters, sir. You are presumed innocent. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. Couple things I need to tell you about this, sir. So really important that you come back to court in the future, because not only could a warrant issue for your arrest if you don't come back to court, trial could go forward in your absence. If you were convicted at that trial, could not be sentenced within 90 days, sir, then you would lose the ability to appeal that conviction. Do you understand all this?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. You are excused.
So, this is the only.
Everybody's come on.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Please tell me your name.
Michael August.
All right, Mr. August, this is your initial appearance, sir. I'm seeing you on a felony allegation and then a failure to appear out of Green Valley Justice Court. Let me start first with the felony that alleges it's actually a grand jury warrant. So you've already been indicted. That alleges that you committed kidnapping, endangerment, and assault, all of which are alleged to be acts of domestic violence. The incident date associated with that allegation is April 12th of 2025. You have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of these matters, sir. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. Ms. Daubert is seated next to you, and she's going to help you out. for the purpose of today's hearing, I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. And as it relates to the felony matter, in preparation for this hearing, I've reviewed the state's recommendation, which is $50,000 plus release to pretrial services if that bond is posted. That's the amount on the warrant. I've also reviewed the information from pretrial services. Ms. Daubert or Mr. Poston, anything further on that?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you, Ms. Daubert.
So, Your Honor, I'm asking you to release Mr. August to the supervision of pretrial services for a number of reasons, including the prime reason that the victim doesn't object to his release from custody. She said that she didn't sustain any injuries during this alleged incident. He has no criminal history whatsoever. He has verified ties to the community. And I'd like the court to take into consideration his young age. He's only 20 years old.
May I say something?
I would ask Ms. Daubert first, and then she can let you know if it's a good question. Oh, yeah. So are we good?
Mr. August also wants the court to know that he's been engaged in services
Okay.
since this event took place, which was some back in April,
Right.
if I remember correctly.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that information. Given what's before me, I'm going to impose a $15,000 cash secured bond. A couple things. So, Mr. August, if you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. So please submit to any monitoring or directives that they tell you to submit to. You're going to be ordered to possess no alcohol or possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or weapons, commit no further acts of domestic violence, sir. You're ordered to have no contact with the alleged victim. And then I believe I've said this, I'm appointing the public defender, sir, and the arraignment is your next hearing. The arraignment's going to be 1 week from today, and that's on December 18th, 2025 at 1:30 in the afternoon. That'll be in Superior Court. So if you're still in custody at that time, sir, you will be seen on video. If you're out of custody at that time, you must come back to court, because if you do not do that, sir, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then just one other thing, the no contact with the alleged victim is whether you are in or out of custody. So no calls from the jail, no texting, none of that. If you're out of custody, no contact whatsoever. And then moving on to the other matter, which is out of Green Valley Justice Court. I'm going to talk about that real quickly. So that alleges an incident that involves another allegation of domestic violence. And it appears to have happened more recently. And that is, yes, one charge of domestic violence, harassment by communication, and that's alleged to have happened yesterday. So as it relates to that matter, I am going to release you on that matter. And so you're still going to be held on the Superior Court matter unless you post that bond. But your next hearing is going to be an arraignment, and that's going to be in Green Valley Justice Court on the 18th. So 1 week from today at 8:30 in the morning. So you've got a court date in the morning at 8:30 in Green Valley, and then you've got a court date in the afternoon for the arraignment in Superior Court downtown. If you're still in custody at that time, you'll be seen on video for that. But other than that, that should cover it. I'm going to release you on your promise to appear as it relates to the misdemeanor case. I'm ordering that you commit no further acts of domestic violence on that as well, that you have no contact with the victim whatsoever. I'm noting the felony hold, and so I believe that that covers it. Thank you very much, sir. You are excused.
All good?
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
Walter Balser.
All right, Mr. Balzer, this is your initial appearance, sir. I've seen you on one charge. It's a charge alleging that you committed robbery on December 4th. You, sir, have the right to remain silent as it relates to that allegation. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, of course, and so to that end, I am appointing the public defender to represent you, sir. And Ms. Staubert is seated next to you. She's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. And so in preparation for this hearing, I've reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial services, then the state's recommendation, which is a $100,000 bond plus release to pretrial services if that bond is posted. Mr. Poston, anything further?
Your Honor, this appears to be an attempted bank robbery. I don't have the IC in front of me. Well, it just closed out. But either way, Your Honor, we're looking at a pretty bank robbery, and therefore the state believes it's entirely appropriate for the six-figure bond. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Staubert.
Your Honor, I'd like you to note that Mr. Balzer has ties to the community. He doesn't have any prior felony convictions. And while we recognize that these are serious allegations, there is no allegation that a weapon was used. This was a robbery attempted by passing a note. So I'd like you to take that into consideration when determining his release conditions. If you're unwilling to release him to pretrial services, I'd ask for a bond closer to $5,000.
All right. Thank you very much. Given the information before me, I'm going to hold Mr. Balzer on a $15,000 cash secured bond. And so, sir, if you post that bond, you will be supervised by pretrial services. If you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary on December 22nd, 1:30 in the afternoon. So please stay in contact with your attorney just so you can be up to date on what's going on with all that. If you do post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, sir, I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you do not go back to the incident location and have no contact with the alleged victim. Do you understand all this, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Additionally, if you do post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, really important that you come back to court, because if you do not do that, a warrant will issue for your arrest and you will likely find yourself back in custody. You, sir, are excused. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, the bond amount,
15,000 cash is secured. Good morning, sir.
Right.
You just tell me your name.
What?
All right, Mr. Duarte, just a moment. This is your initial appearance, sir. You've been arrested on a couple charges. One count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, and one count of disorderly conduct with a weapon or instrument. You, sir, have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of these allegations. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir. And so Ms. Staubert is seated to your left. She's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. And in order to prepare for this hearing, I'll review the information from pretrial services, review the interim complaint, and review the state's recommendation, which is $75,000, plus release to pretrial services in the event that that bond is posted. Mr. Poston, anything further?
Your Honor, given the defendant's history, given the inherent nature of the offense, the fact that he used a knife, threatened to kill several people, this person presents not only a danger to society, but as well as a danger of flight into.
Okay, you trailed off just a little bit at the end there, but I think I caught the substance of what you said. Ms. Staubert?
Your Honor, I'd ask you to consider that while there is some criminal history here, it's fairly distant. Mr. Duarte does have ties to the community. He tells me he has a place to stay if he were to be released. If you're unwilling to release him to pretrial services, I'd ask for a bond closer to $5,000.
Thank you. The court does note that according to the instruments from pretrial services, Mr. Duarte does project as a 6 out of 6 on the new criminal activity scale, and then a 5 out of 6 on the failure to appear scale. In light of that, the court is going to impose a $20,000 cash or secured bond for Mr. Duarte. And Mr. Duarte, if you do post that bond, it's really important that you come back to court, because if you do not come back to court, sir, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing, and that's going to be in Pima County Superior Court. Really important that you stay in contact with your attorney, sir, because they can keep you up to speed on what's going on with that next court date. I'm wondering if you post that bond, sir, that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no firearms or weapons, have no contact with the alleged victim, and then alleged victims. I'm appointing the public defender. I think I said that, and then that takes care of it. Thank you, sir. You are excused.
I'm sorry, Edwards. Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Tell me your name.
Payne Edwards.
All right, Mr. Edwards, this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some different matters. The first matter we're going to talk about is it's a warrant that was issued out of Pima County Superior Court in relation to 4 counts of aggravated domestic violence. Those are the allegations, sir. The incident dates associated with those are March 27th of 2025. And so I'm also seeing you on a failure to appear warrant out of Pima County Justice Court that relates to a charge or an allegation of disorderly conduct. And I believe that covers it. So, sir, as it relates to all of this stuff that I've mentioned to you, sir, you do have the right to remain silent. And so you do also have the right to an attorney, sir, for the purpose of future hearings. I'm appointing the public defender. Ms. Daubert is seated next to you this morning to help out for today's sake. And so, sir, as it relates to today's hearing, I have reviewed the information supplied by pretrial services. I also have reviewed the information of the state's recommendation, which is $50,000 plus release to pretrial services if that bond is posted, which appears to be the warrant amount. Anything further, Mr. Poston?
No, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Daubert.
Your Honor, it doesn't appear that Mr. Edwards has previously been arrested in this matter. So I'd ask you consider giving him the chance to appear if you were to release him on his own recognizance. He's got some criminal history, but the only felony on there was designated a misdemeanor after successfully completing probation. So clearly he has the ability to succeed. I'd ask that you give him a chance by releasing him to the supervision of pretrial services. If you're unwilling to do that, I'd ask for a bond closer to $2,500.
Okay. Just a moment, please. So I am going to hold you, sir, on a $2,500 cash secured bond. And so a couple things. So if you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, sir, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. Some really important conditions, and I'm going to tell you now, sir, I need you to follow them. First of all, if you are out of custody, you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, you commit no future acts of domestic violence, and you have no contact with the alleged victim. No contact means no contact, period. That means if you're in the jail, you do not contact the victim. If you're out of the jail, you do not contact the victim. You do not do it through third parties. You do not do it at all in any way, shape, or form. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. In light of that, I am going to set that $2,500 cash secured bond, and that takes care of the felony matter. Now let's move on. You actually have 2 misdemeanor matters. One is, they're both misdemeanor warrants. We're going to talk about it in a minute. Your next court date on the felony matter is an arraignment a week from today. That's December 18th, 1:30 in the afternoon. Then as it relates to the first misdemeanor matter, this is out of Pima County Justice Court downtown that alleges that you failed to appear in relation to a charge of disorderly conduct. As it relates to that case, sir, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear, setting your next court date as an arraignment. That's going to be on December 22nd at 8:30 in the morning in Pima County Justice Court. If you're out of custody at that time, sir, because you posted bond or otherwise out of custody on the felony matter, really important that you come to Justice Court to be there for that hearing and take care of whatever you need to take care of on that case. If you're still in custody, sir, you will be seen on video at that time, most likely. And so because I'm releasing you on that matter, I'm not going to appoint an attorney. And that's going to cover it as it relates to that case. And then last but not least, I'm seeing you on a failure to appear out of Green Valley Justice Court that relates to a charge of disorderly conduct that's alleged to be an act of domestic violence that is alleged to have occurred. Actually, I'm not certain when that's alleged to have occurred, but give me a second. On April 22nd, 2024 is when that's alleged to have occurred. And so in any event, I'm going to release you on that case as well, sir. So again, if you find yourself out of custody because you posted the bond on the felony or otherwise find, the felony is not holding you any longer, really important that you come back to court. Your next court date on the Green Valley matter is on December 18th. So 1 week from today at 8:30 in the morning, that's going to be for a case management conference. If you're still in custody, you'll probably be seen on video for that. If you're out of custody, you need to head down to Green Valley and attend that case management conference. Because if you do not appear at any of these hearings that I'm talking about, sir, it's likely that a warrant will issue for your arrest and you will probably find yourself back in custody. Do you understand this, sir?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. You are excused.
Marshall?
Good morning.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
Rashawn Marie Marshall.
All right, Ms. Marshall, this is your initial appearance, ma'am, and I'm seeing you on just a moment here. I'm seeing you on a couple charges, one of which alleges that you possessed a narcotic drug. The other alleges that you possessed a drug paraphernalia. And so you have the right to remain silent as it relates to any of these allegations. Anything you say could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm appointing the Pima County legal defender to represent you, ma'am. And so Ms. Daubert is seated to your left. Who's going to help you out this morning for the purpose of this hearing. And in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint and the information from pretrial plus the state's recommendation, which is released to pretrial services plus setting a steps hearing. Anything further, Mr. Poston?
No, Judge.
All right, Ms. Daubert.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So just a moment. And jail, is there a hold?
We're not showing one at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So Ms. Marshall, respectfully, I'm not willing to release you because it looks like, and again, you have the right to remain silent. So I don't want to hear anything about this, but it looks like you may be on probation on 2 felony matters out of Superior Court. So for that reason, I'm not willing to release you, but I'm willing to set a relatively low bond, and it's going to be in the amount of $2,000 cash as secured. And so if you post that bond, ma'am, a couple things. You're going to be supervised by pretrial services. And another thing I'm going to order is that if you post that bond and you find yourself out of custody, you must report to your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing, and that's going to be on December 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. One other thing I want to advise you, ma'am, this is potentially some good news, is that it looks like you may be eligible for a program called STEPS. And so what STEPS is It's a program for folks that may have the need for some support as it relates to a possible substance abuse problem. And so if you are eligible for that program, ma'am, what it means is that you may be able to engage in some treatment and have the drug possession charges that you're being seen on this morning dismissed, if you're eligible for it. So is that something that you're interested in, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a steps hearing, and it's going to be 1 week from today at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's December 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning in front of Judge Miller. She's on the 3rd floor of Superior Court. Really important that if you're out of custody, that you come back to that court hearing, ma'am, a week from today, because if you don't do that, you could lose the ability to participate in that program. So it's a good opportunity, assuming that you're eligible for it. So I hope that it's something that you're interested in, and it sounds like you are. So I believe that that covers it. So if I haven't said this, ma'am, if you do bond out, really important, you come back to court, because if you don't, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Thank you very much. You are excused.
You're up.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
You're up, Mayor.
All right, Mr. Mayor, this is your initial appearance, sir. And so I am seeing you on 1 count of aggravated assault of an incapacitated victim. And so it looks like you may also have a Department of Corrections hold, and that you may be on community supervision. So as it relates to all of this stuff, sir, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about be used against you, you do have the right to an attorney. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. Ms. Daubert is seated to your left for the purpose of this morning's hearing. She's going to help you out today. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial services, plus the state's recommendation, which is a $50,000 bond, plus release to pretrial services in the event that that bond is posted. Mr. Poston, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Ms. Daubert.
Your Honor, we're also requesting a bond. I think closer to 2,500 would be sufficient.
Thank you very much. The court is going to impose a $5,000 cash secured bond. So, Mr. Mayor, given that you have that DOC hold, probably doesn't make sense for you to attempt to post that, but I'm not going to give you legal advice on that. That's just to say that even if you post that bond today, you are still going to be held in custody given that DOC hold. So talk with your attorney about that more. They can give you solid advice. It's the public defenders being appointed, and your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing on December 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon, sir. And so if you do somehow find yourself out of custody, sir, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. You're going to be ordered to possess no firearms or weapons and consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and then come back to court, sir. It's important that you do that if you're out of custody, because if you don't, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand, sir? Is that a yes?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. You are excused. Good morning, sir.
Wednesday morning.
Could you please tell me your name?
Jairo Mendoza, Jairo.
Thank you, sir. So, Mr. Mendoza, sir, this is your initial appearance. You have been charged with possession of a narcotic drug and possession of drug paraphernalia, both of which are alleged to have happened yesterday. You're also being seen on a city court warrant that alleges that you failed to appear, reference the threatening or intimidating charge from May of 2024. So as it relates to all of this stuff, sir, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these cases could be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney, sir. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. Ms. Daubert, seated to your left. She's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. And so in order to prepare for today's hearing, I've reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial services, and the state's recommendation, which is that you be held, sir, without bond pursuant to Article 2, Section 22, the Arizona Constitution, which says that if you're on release for one felony offense and you commit a new felony offense while you're on release, then you shall be held without bond. So, Ms. Poston, anything further on that?
No.
All right, Ms. Dobbert.
We understand your, Mr. He would like the court to know that he has a court, the warrant should be quashed. He has a court date.
Yeah.
But I understand that doesn't change the no bond determination.
Right, so the law requires, Mr. Mendoza, that I hold you without bond today. Okay, so what that means is that you're entitled to have a hearing. It's called a no bond hearing, and that's going to be 5 days from now. So that's on Tuesday, the 16th at 1:30 in the afternoon. So at that hearing, sir, the state will, so the state will decide, at that next, at the 16th or a little before that, whether or not they're going to go forward with this no bond hearing. If they don't go forward with it, then a bond will likely be set for you, sir, something that you may have the ability to post. If they do go forward with it, then they would be required to prove that you committed this new offense while you were on release for the first offense. And so you're entitled to that hearing, sir, and that due process, but you're going to be held until then. So, sir, that no bond hearing is scheduled for December 16th at 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm also setting a preliminary hearing that's going to be on December 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. Please stay in contact with your attorney, because just important to do that. They're going to be able to help you out. If you do find yourself out of custody, sir, I am going to order that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. It does also appear, sir, that you are eligible for a program called STEPS. And so what STEPS is it's a program where folks that may potentially be in need of some support as it relates to a possible substance abuse problem have the ability to get that support. And so it's a good program in the sense that if you're eligible for it, sir, not only do you get that support, but if you take care of what they ask you to take care of, then the charges may be dismissed, assuming that you're eligible for the program. Are you interested in that, sir?
Sir.
Okay. So I am also going to set another hearing. It's called a STEPS review hearing. It's a STEPS hearing. It's on December 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you're still in custody at that time, sir, you'll be brought to court and you'll learn more about the STEPS program. If you're out of custody at that time because the no bond hearing ended up in such a way that you could get out of custody, then you must come back to court 1 week from today on the 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning, because you'll learn more about the STEPS program at that time. And if you're eligible for it, you'd be able to get into it. Does that all make sense, sir? And so one last thing, if you are out of custody, sir, and you don't come back to court, a warrant could issue for your arrest. And then finally, as it relates to, I'm seeing you on a city court matter as well, sir. I am going to release you as it relates to the city court matter. The specific allegation on the city court step is a count of threatening or intimidating and also possession of drug paraphernalia. As I said, I am going to release you as it relates to that case, sir. But I am also going to appoint the city PD to represent you on that, given some of the moving parts on the felony stuff that you have and the fact that you may remain in custody on that for a bit, potentially. And so your next court date, sir, is going to be a video review. Actually, just a second.
What doesn't make sense is how you got.
Right then. Never mind. Your next hearing will be a non-transport review, and that's going to be on January 16th at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be in front of Judge Klotz. So that takes care of that. And so, sir, this is also the time set for your arraignment as it relates to the city court matters, these two charges. You, sir, are presumed innocent as it relates to those charges. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. If you do find yourself out of custody, it's important that you come back to court. I know I've said that before with a felony, but what's important as it relates to the misdemeanor is that this case could go to trial in your absence, sir. You could be convicted in your absence. And if you're not present for sentencing within 90 days of that conviction, you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. So that takes care of that, sir. Have a good day. You are excused. Oh, and sir, and also you do have some family present in court this morning here on your behalf. And so just wanted to let you know that, sir.
Family, my bad that I couldn't be there for them, you know. My
And
grandma, my grandpa depend on me and can't be there for them.
yes, sir. And they hear that you are loud and clear in open court, and they're here in support of you, sir.
Be back. Have a good.
Hello, Your Honor.
Good morning. Can you please tell me your name?
Good morning. My name is Luis Antonio Molina.
Hi, Mr. Molina. Good morning, sir. So I'm seeing you on some new matters. Give me just a moment and I'll tell you about them. So, sir, I'm seeing you on two charges, one of which is alleges that you committed aggravated driving under the influence. The other alleges that you committed aggravated assault on a police officer. As it relates to both of these allegations, sir, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about them could be used against you. You do have a right to have an attorney as to each of them. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir. And so in order to prepare for this hearing, Ms. Daubert is also seated next to you. She's going to help you out this morning. In order to prepare for this hearing, I did review the information in the interim complaints. $5,000 bond plus release to pretrial services as to each of these two matters. Mr. Poston, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So Ms. Daubert?
Your Honor, Mr. Molina has a minimal felony history. He tells me that he has a place to stay if he were to be released. I'd ask that you release him to the supervision of pretrial services. If you're unwilling to do that, I'd ask for an $1,100 bond.
Thank you very much. I am going to impose a $2,500 cash or secured bond, sir. And so, and that's going to be as to each case, but they're going to be concurrent with each other. So I'm indicating the concurrent nature of these two bonds in your paperwork here. And so if you do post those bonds, sir, you find yourself out of, or you post that bond, I should say, you find yourself out of custody. I'm ordering that you will be supervised by pretrial services. I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, that you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you do not drive without a valid license. And so just a moment. The next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing, sir. That's going to be on December 22nd. December 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. So, sir, if you do post that bond, you find yourself out of custody. Really important that you come back to court, because if you don't do that, sir, a warrant will issue for your arrest. And do you understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And then I believe that covers it. So you, sir, are excused. Have a good day. Good morning, ma'am. Could you please tell me your name?
Stephanie Moran.
Ms. Moran, this is your initial appearance, ma'am. You have been arrested on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug and that you possessed a dangerous drug. You, ma'am, are presumed innocent of these charges, and you have the right to remain silent as it relates to these charges. Anything you say about them could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I am appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, ma'am, as it relates to these charges. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial services, and the state's recommendation, which is release to pretrial services, and also setting a steps hearing, which I will talk to you about in a moment, because it looks like you are eligible for that program. Mr. Poston, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thanks. Ms. Daubert.
Your Honor, we're also asking that you release her to the supervision of pretrial services. I understand that she's currently on probation, but there does not appear to be a probation hold, and she is steps eligible.
Okay, and so, and no hold at the jail, I'm assuming?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, given the information that I see does reflect that you are in fact on probation, I am gonna order that you be held on a $1,100 bond. That's $1,100 bond. And if you post that bond, you are gonna be supervised by pretrial services. I'm also gonna order that if you do find yourself out of custody, you must report to probation within 72 hours of your release if you do post that bond or you're otherwise out of custody. So all right. And so yourself out of custody, I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, that you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. The next court date is a preliminary hearing. That's on December 22nd, 1:30 in the afternoon. Also, ma'am, looks like you might be eligible for a program called STEPS. And so what STEPS is, it's a program for folks that may benefit from some support as it relates to a possible substance abuse problem. And so the way that works, ma'am, is that assuming that you're eligible for the program, then if you take care of what the program asks you to take care of, then the charges will be dismissed and you don't have to deal with the case. Is that something that you're interested in getting more information on, ma'am? Is that a yes? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So your next court date, ma'am, is going to be what's called a STEPS hearing, and that's going to be 1 week from today. That's December 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning in front of Judge Miller in Superior Court. She's on the 3rd floor. And so if you're in custody, ma'am, you'll be brought to court for that hearing and you'll have a chance to learn more about STEPS, assuming that you're eligible for it. And if you're out of custody, you must come back to court at that time because you'll learn more about the program at that time. And if you don't show up for that hearing, you could lose the ability to participate in STEPS, and a warrant could issue for your arrest if you don't come back to future court dates. All right, thank you very much, ma'am. You are excused.
Noriega? Come on.
Good morning, sir.
Morning,
Please tell me your name.
Jordan Noriega.
Noriega, this is your initial appearance, sir, and I'm seeing you on a couple charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug and that you possessed drug paraphernalia, which is alleged to have happened yesterday. I'm also seeing you on a warrant alleging failure to appear out of Tucson City Court. So as it relates to all of these things, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about them could be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney. I am going to appoint the Pima County legal advocate to represent you, sir. And so in order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial services, and the information in the state's recommendation, which is released to pretrial services, plus setting a STEPS court hearing. Mr. Poston, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Daubert.
Your Honor, we're asking that you release Mr. Noriega to the supervision of pretrial services, as the state is also requesting. He appears to be eligible for STEPS. He has distant felony history from 2015, Your Honor. So he's been doing good for a while.
Yep. Very good. Mr. Noriega, I am going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, sir. And so your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on December 31st at 1:30 in the afternoon. Please stay in contact with your attorney at the legal advocate's office so that they can keep you in the loop about what all is going on with that. I'm ordering that you possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Also, sir, it does look like you may be eligible for a program called STEPS, which is a program that helps folks that may need some assistance as it relates to a potential substance abuse problem. And so the way that works, sir, is that if you're eligible for the program and you do what the program asks of you, then these charges can be dismissed and they go away without you having to get indicted on them and face the full music for a felony charge. Do you understand that, sir? Is that something you're interested in?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. So I'm going to set a STEPS hearing. It's going to be 1 week from today. That's on December 18th at 9 o'clock in the morning. December 18th, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be in front of Judge Miller on the 3rd floor at Superior Court. Please come back to court at that time, sir. Really important that you do that, because if you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could potentially lose the ability to participate in STEPS. So stay in contact with your attorney. Please come back to court, and then that covers it, sir. Have a good day. Actually, hold on. I forgot about the misdemeanor. One moment, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So I am also seeing you, sir, on a misdemeanor matter that alleges that you failed to appear in relation to a possession of drug paraphernalia and then camping in a park after dark. And so as it relates to that, sir, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear. And your next hearing is going to be in front of Judge Maldonado, and that's going to be on January 12th, 2026 at 9 o'clock in the morning. You're going to get paperwork that says this, but please come back to court at that time in city court, because if you don't do that, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest. So that hearing is going to be for, I think it's going to be a pretrial, an out of custody pretrial. And so that covers it, other than to do the arraignment with you real quickly on that misdemeanor matter, sir. So on that misdemeanor matter, sir, I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You do have the right to remain silent, and you are presumed innocent as it relates to this misdemeanor. And so a couple things. Important that you come back to court, not only because I talked to you about getting a warrant if you don't, but if you don't come back to court, that misdemeanor matter could go to trial in your absence. If you were convicted without being at that trial, then you could lose the ability to be to appeal that conviction if you could not be sentenced within 90 days. Do you understand that, sir? All right, thank you. Have a good day.
I'm sorry. Well, what was the STEPS date?
Yeah, it's December 18th for the STEPS date, and that's 9 o'clock in the morning, Judge Miller.
Thank you.
You got it.
I know, previously, well, I don't follow them, that was the.
All right. Sir, could you please tell me your name?
Oscar Pano Rodriguez.
All right, Mr. Pano Rodriguez, I'm seeing you this is your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some charges. Just a second. So the charges allege that you possessed a narcotic drug, or you transported a narcotic drug for sale, and that you also possessed or used a weapon in a drug offense. As it relates to both of these matters, sir, you do have the right to remain silent, and you are presumed innocent. You have the right to be represented by an attorney on them, and I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir, as it relates to this matter. In order to prepare for this hearing, I have reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial services, and the state's recommendation, which is a $50,000 bond, plus release to pretrial services if that bond is posted. Mr. Poston, anything further on this matter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Daubert.
Your Honor, while I'm not making any sort of probable cause argument regarding the interim complaint, I do want to address the facts that it presents, which show that Mr. Pano Rodriguez has a potential mere presence defense here. He admitted to possessing the firearms, which he is legally permitted to do. It was the other person in the vehicle who admitted to the sort of drug trafficking allegations that are involved. So at the very least, Mr. Pano Rodriguez is less culpable per this interim complaint. I'd like you to consider his young age. He's got a good job. He's got verified housing, ties, family support. And given all of that, I'd ask you to consider releasing him to the supervision of pretrial services. If you're not willing to do that, I'd ask for a $2,500 bond.
Thank you very much. I do agree based on the information, the somewhat limited information that is before me right now, that Mr. Pano Rodriguez does seem to be less culpable than the other involved individual, but I'm working with somewhat limited information. In light of that, the court's going to impose a $5,000, actually, I'm going to do a $3,000 cash secured bond, sir. And so what's going on with that is that if you post that bond, you are going to be supervised by pretrial services. You're going to be ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and have no contact with the co-defendant. So have no contact with, or with Luis Enrique Ruiz. Please do not have any contact with that individual. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on December 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. And that's going to be in a justice court, but just stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender's office because they can keep you up to speed on what all is going on with that. And really important that you come back to your court dates in the future, sir, because if you do not do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest and you could find yourself back in custody. And just a moment. And Mr. Pano Rodriguez, your sister is present in court this morning, so just an FYI on that, all right? All right, I believe that's it. Your excuse, sir.
Thank you. Peterson? Oh, that's it for that. So.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Please tell me your name.
Peterson.
All right. Mr. Peterson, I'm seeing you on a couple charges. One charge alleges that you possessed a narcotic drug for sale. The other alleges that you possess drug paraphernalia. And so you, sir, have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of these allegations. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. And you're presumed innocent of these allegations. As far as the attorney part of it is concerned, I am appointing the Pima County legal advocate to represent you. Miss Daubert, excuse me, is seated to your left. She's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for the hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial services, the information in the interim state's recommendation, which is a $10,000 bond plus release to pretrial if that bond is posted. Mr. Poston, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Miss Daubert.
Your Honor, Mr. Peterson is employed and he has ties to the community. I'd ask you to consider releasing him to the supervision of pretrial services. He is on probation, and they do not appear to have. Oh, there is a probation hold. I'm sorry. In that case, would ask for a nominal bond of $1,100.
Okay, thank you very much. So court is going to impose a $7,500 cash secured bond. It does appear that Mr. Peterson, while he's of course presumed innocent, it does appear that he is on probation in relation to a matter that is similar to the allegations that are before the court today. So $7,500 cash secured, sir. If you do find yourself out of custody, then you're going to be ordered to possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and also report to probation within 72 hours of your release. Now, that is not to get your hopes up in the sense that you do have a probation hold, so it's likely that you are not going to be getting out of custody in the short term. So just an FYI on that. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be December 22nd, 1:30 in the afternoon. Please stay in contact with your attorney because they can keep you up to speed on what all is going on with all this. All right, sir. Thank you. You're excused.
Okay. So I don't qualify for steps or anything?
Unfortunately, no, sir. Given the nature of the allegation, you appear to not be eligible for that. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Your Honor.
All right, could you please tell me your name?
Justin Paul Foster.
All right, so Mr. Possert, this is your initial appearance. You've been arrested on certain charges. We also do have a victim present on the line that I'm going to hear from in a bit. But first off, sir, let me talk to you first. You are being seen on 10 counts of domestic violence, aggravated harassment. This spans a date range that seems to run from this summer until somewhat recently in December. And so as it relates to all these allegations, sir, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these allegations could be used against you. And so I'm appointing the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. In order to prepare for this hearing this morning, sir, I have reviewed the information in the interim complaint. I have reviewed the information from pretrial services and the state's recommendation, which is $5,000 plus release to pretrial services in the event that that bond is posted. I am going to ask if the state has anything further in a moment, but first I would like to hear from the victim, who I believe is on the line. Is the victim on the line, and can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor, I can hear you.
Okay, and if you could please tell me your name first off, and then let me know what you would like the court to know. And the only decisions I'm making today relate to whether or not Mr. Possert is going to be released from custody, and also any other conditions that he could have, whether he is in or out of custody. So please, ma'am, let me know what you'd like me to know. Thank you.
Absolutely. My name is Jessica Foster, and I did prepare a short statement that I'll read.
Sure.
Your Honor, I'm requesting the longest holding custody the court is permitted to order, and when he is released, the strictest release conditions available. This is not a one-time lapse. It's a months-long pattern of defiance and escalation. He's shown a clear disregard for judicial orders, repeatedly violating the order of protection and contacting me over multiple months despite clear legal consequences. The threat to harm me this period, even after he was arrested on November 24th for violent acts against another person, he violated conditions of release by harassing that individual and also contacted me again. Over these several months, he has not consistently pursued services to intervene on his behavior or suspected mental health and substance use problems. He's largely disconnected from the community and employment, primarily engaging people that only support his destructive behaviors. This persistent pattern has been unbroken by warnings, court orders, probation, or arrest, and demonstrates an ongoing risk to my safety and my children's safety. For that reason, I am requesting that he remains in custody as long as possible, and when released, strict no contact conditions and even GPS location monitoring if the court permits. Thank you for the chance to speak, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. I do appreciate your sentiments, ma'am. And the state, again, I show the state requesting a $5,000 bond plus release to pretrial if that's posted. Mr. Poston, anything further?
No, Judge.
Ms. Daubert.
Your Honor, I'd ask you to consider releasing Mr. Poser to the supervision of pretrial services. I understand the seriousness of these allegations. They are, however, low-level felony offenses, and Mr. Poser doesn't have any prior felony criminal history. He's got verified housing and employment and ties to the community. If you're unwilling to release him to the supervision of pretrial services, I'd ask for an $1,100 bond.
Thank you very much. Given the information that's before the court, I am going to impose the $5,000 bond requested by the state. That's going to be a cash secured bond. And sir, you are going to be released to pretrial services if you post that bond. Some really important conditions that I need to talk to you about. All right, so first of all, if you post that bond, you find yourself out of custody, you are ordered to possess no firearms or weapons. You may not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you are ordered to not commit any further acts of domestic violence. You have no contact with the alleged victim. No contact means no contact. That means whether you're in the jail, out of the jail, over the phone, directly, indirectly, contacting friends to get information to her. No contact means no contact on God's green earth. Do you understand all that, sir? Is that a
Yes. Yes.
In light of that, it's a $5,000 cash secured bond, pretrial services. If you post that bond with the conditions that I indicated, I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing, and that's going to be on December 22nd, 2025 at 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm not dealing with this today, but the information in pretrial reflects that you may also have an upcoming petition to revoke on some matters out of Oro Valley City Court. It referenced other misdemeanor domestic violence charges. So just FYI on that, you may need to deal with stuff out of Oro Valley as well. So just talk with your attorney about that. Probably a good conversation to have. That takes care of it, sir. You are excused. And Ms. Possard, thank you for being here this morning, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
Barry Ramirez.
All right, just a moment. So, Mr. Ramirez, I am seeing you this morning for what's called an initial appearance. You have been arrested on one count, alleging that you committed aggravated domestic violence. That's alleged to have happened yesterday. You, sir, have the right to remain silent as it relates to that allegation. Anything you say about it could be used against you. And so you also have the right to be represented by an attorney, sir. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. And Ms. Dauber, seated to your left, she's going to help you out this morning for the purpose of today's hearing. And so in order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I've reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information from pretrial services and the state's recommendation, which is a $15,000 bond plus a release to pretrial if that bond is posted. Anything further, Mr. Poston?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Dauber?
Your Honor, Mr. Ramirez has ties to the community. He is employed. I'd ask that you consider releasing him to the supervision of pretrial services. If you're not willing to do that, I'd ask for a $2,500 bond.
Okay. So, Mr. Ramirez, sir, if I release you, are you willing to have no contact whatsoever with the alleged victim?
Yes.
Are you willing to not go back to that incident location, which means you can't go back home? Do you understand that? You'd have to find a new residence.
No, I completely understand. The only thing,
You might want to talk to Ms. Dauber first before you, and just run it by her.
Your Honor, Mr. Ramirez is absolutely capable of following those conditions. He was in the process of moving out. In fact, his disabled vehicle is parked outside of the residence and it contains all of his belongings. So I guess you would ask permission to return to the property once with a law enforcement escort.
Perfectly reasonable. Makes sense to me. So I have no problem with that, sir. And so to that end, I'm going to include on your release condition, sir, that you may return with a police escort to pick up your belongings. So the way that works is you'd want to just contact like PPD or whatever the law enforcement agency it is that's closest to your home, and just ask to have them, provide you an escort for that purpose. It's done pretty routinely, so they can help you out with that. The jail may even have more information on how to go about that. In any event, you're able to go back there, get your belongings, sir. Just needs to be done with a police escort. Does that make sense?
yes, sir.
All right. And so in light of that, I am going to release you, sir. Again, no contact with the alleged victims. Don't go back to the incident location, except with that police escort to get your belongings, ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, and do not commit any future acts of domestic violence. In light of that, you're released to pretrial services, sir. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing, December 31st, 1:30 in the afternoon. Please stay in contact with your attorney at the public defender's office as they can keep you up to speed on what all's going on. All right. Thank you, sir. You're excused.
Thank you.
Rodriguez?
Morning.
Morning.
Please tell me your name.
Misael Rodriguez.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez. This, sir, is your initial appearance. I am seeing you on charges that allege that you possessed a narcotic drug for the purpose, you transported a narcotic drug for sale. You also possessed a weapon in a drug offense. You are, sir, presumed innocent as it relates to all of these allegations, and you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. I am going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you. Ms. Daubert is seated to your left. She's going to help you out for the purpose of this morning's hearing. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and then the state's recommendation, which is a $50,000 bond plus release to pretrial services if that bond is posted. Anything further, Mr. Poston?
No, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Daubert.
Your Honor, I'd ask that you consider Mr. Rodriguez's very young age. He's just 23 years old. He's employed and he doesn't have any criminal history whatsoever. I understand that these are some serious allegations, but I ask that you consider giving him the opportunity to show up to court through the supervision of pretrial services, releasing to their supervision. If you're unwilling to do that, I'd ask for a $2,500 bond.
Okay, thank you very much. Given the absence of other criminal history, the nonviolent nature of what happened here, although the allegation does involve about 1 kilo of cocaine, I am going to release you to pretrial services, sir. It's very important that you follow the directives that they may tell you to follow, and also that you come back to court. Okay, your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's on December 31st at 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Please stay in contact with your attorney and come back to any future court dates, because if you do not do that, sir, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Snyder? This one.
Good morning. Just please tell me your name.
Snyder.
All right, so ma'am, this is your initial appearance, and I'm seeing you on a couple things. So the first thing I'm seeing you on alleges new charges alleging possession of a narcotic drug, possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm also seeing you on some 3 warrants out of Tucson City Court alleging that you failed to appear in relation to 1 theft charge, 1 drug paraphernalia charge, and 1 DUI charge. The theft charge is from 2020, drug paraphernalia from 2022, and the DUI from 2023. As it relates to all these matters, ma'am, you are presumed innocent. You do have the right to remain silent as it relates to all of them. You do have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. And Ms. Daubert, seated to your left, she's going to help you out this morning. I am appointing the public defender to represent you, ma'am, as this case plays out. And that's on the felony matters we're going to talk about first. So in order to prepare for this morning's hearing, I did review the information submitted from pretrial services, the information in the interim complaint, and then the state's recommendation is which is that you be held without bond pursuant to Article 2 of the Arizona Constitution. Anything further on that, Mr. Poston?
No, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Daubert.
No, Your Honor.
All right, in light of the state of things, ma'am, it does appear that you may have been on release for a felony offense. And so the law says that if you are on release for 1 felony offense and then pick up a new felony offense while you're on release for that, that you can be held without bond. And so that's what I'm going to do. However, you do have the right to have a no bond hearing to see whether or not you're going to stay in custody or not. And so that hearing is going to be set for Tuesday, December 16th, 1:30 in the afternoon in front of Judge Miller in Superior Court. And so your preliminary hearing as it relates to the felony is going to be at 1:30 on December 22nd. So I've appointed the public defender. Please stay in contact with your attorney because they can talk you through a lot of this stuff, help you out. And additionally, ma'am, I'm ordering that you possess no firearms or weapons if you are out of custody, and that you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs if you are out of custody. So that takes care of the felony matter. Let's move on to the city court stuff. So on the city court matters, again, 3 warrants alleging failure to appear. And so on these matters, I am going to hold you on a bond of $250. It's going to be a cash or secured bond. I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you, ma'am. Your next court dates in city court is going to be a video review, and we're going to set that for December 19th at 1:45 in the afternoon. That's going to be in front of Judge Bond. And so additionally, ma'am, this is also the time set for your arraignment as it relates to these 3 city court cases. So important things to note about that. First of all, I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf as it relates to the city court matters. You are presumed innocent as it relates to them. And also, it's important that you come back to court if you find yourself out of custody on these cases. It's important that you come back to court because if you don't, a warrant could issue for your arrest and trial could go forward in your absence. If trial went forward in your absence and you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days, then you could lose the ability to appeal that conviction. All right, thank you very much, ma'am. You are excused. I forgot.
Vertigo.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Please tell me your name.
Francisco Verdugo.
Verdugo, I'm seeing you this morning at what is called an initial appearance. You have been arrested on 1 charge that alleges that you committed aggravated driving under the influence. It's alleged to have happened this morning. You have the right to remain silent, sir. Anything you say about this matter could be used against you. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender to represent you, sir. And Ms. Daubert, seated to your left, she's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information in the interim complaint, the information supplied by pretrial services, and the state's recommendation, which is a $5,000 bond, plus release to pretrial services if that bond is posted. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, and Ms. Daubert.
Your Honor, Mr. Verdugo has no prior felony history. It appears that his only criminal history is admittedly a prior misdemeanor DUI, but it's from 2016 and he successfully completed probation. He's got, his wife Holly verified everything with pretrial services. He's got a place to stay. He's got a good job that supports his minor children. Given his demonstrated ability to perform and conduct his conduct and his familial obligations, I'd ask that you consider releasing him to the supervision of pretrial services.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Verdugo, sir. If I release you, are you willing to follow 2 really important rules that I'm going to tell you about right now, specifically that you not drive without a valid license and that you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs? Are you willing to follow those directives?
Yes, I am.
All right, in light of that, sir, I am willing to release you to the supervision of pretrial services, but really important that you follow those rules, especially as we head into the holiday season now. You're going to be released to pretrial services. Again, don't drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs. And so I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be December 31st, 1:30 in the afternoon. And so stay in contact with your attorney, please, and please come back to court, because if you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Thank you, sir. You are excused.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Good morning, man. Could you please tell me your name?
White.
All right, Ms. White, this is your initial appearance. You've been arrested on a charge that alleges that you committed possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited possessor. I'm also seeing you on a warrant at a Tucson City Court that alleges that you failed to appear in relation to some domestic violence charges that allege disorderly conduct, endangerment, and assault. These are offenses that are alleged to have happened back on September 8th of 2024. As it relates to all this stuff, ma'am, you are presumed innocent. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say about these matters could be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. The attorney that I'm appointing on the felony matter is the Pima County Legal Defender. And Ms. Daubert is seated to your left. She's going to help you out for the purpose of today's hearing. In order to prepare for this hearing, I reviewed the information from pretrial services, the information in the interim complaints, and then the state's recommendation, which is a $2,500 bond, plus release to pretrial services if that bond is posted. Anything further, Mr. Poston?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Staubert?
So, Your Honor, I think that there's a potential probable cause issue with the prohibited possessor charges here.
Happy to hear you on it.
Looking at the pretrial services criminal history, she's got a simple drug possession charge from 1989 out of Mojave County that she appears to have successfully completed probation on. She then again has a Tucson simple drug possession case from 1996 that she again successfully completed probation on in 1999. In 2017, there was some sort of litigation on post conviction litigation on these matters, but the only reflection here is that judgment was set aside. Miss White informs me that these matters have been designated misdemeanors, even if only one matter was designated a misdemeanor and one is a designated felony. The recent Division II Court of Appeals decision regarding automatic rights restorations for first-time felony offenders would apply here, meaning that her rights were automatically restored in 2022. So I don't believe that there's probable cause to charge her with prohibited possessor.
Right. Thank you very much. I do think that there's some merit to a lot of that argument. However, given the standard that's before the court, and specifically the fact that the interim complaint does note that a III was conducted, so the Interstate Identification Index search was conducted that revealed that Ms. White was indeed a prohibited possessor. There may be legal developments reference that Division II case that call that into question, but for today's sake, the court does find that there is probable cause. However, I am going to release Ms. White. I'm going to release you, ma'am, to the supervision of pretrial services. So your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing, and that's going to be on December 31st at 1:30 in the afternoon. And so please stay in contact with your attorney who's at the Pima County Legal Defender so you can talk about what's going on. They can keep you up to speed. I'm going to order, ma'am, that you possess no firearms or weapons, you consume no alcohol or illegal drugs while this case is pending. And then I believe that covers it as it relates to the felony. So give me just a moment. We're going to talk about the misdemeanor and then you will be on your way. I'm going to release you on that misdemeanor as well, but we just got to talk about it real quick.
Okay.
All right, so ma'am, I'm also seeing you on a misdemeanor matter that alleges that you failed to appear on those 3 misdemeanor domestic violence allegations that I spoke to you about earlier. As it relates to those matters, I am going to release you, as I said. That's going to be on your own recognizance. And your next hearing is going to be in front of Judge Million at Tucson City Court. You're going to get paperwork that says this, but I'll tell you about it. So your next court date is going to be in front of Judge Million, and that's going to be for an arraignment. And so that's going to be on January 13th at 1:30 in the afternoon for that arraignment. And ma'am, I'm going to order that you possess or consume no alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs and commit no further acts of domestic violence. And I believe that covers it. So please just come back to court, ma'am. I mean, that's the big takeaway as it relates to this, because if you don't do that, a warrant could issue for your arrest. You do have an attorney on the felony matter, but not on the misdemeanor matter because I'm releasing you. That takes care of it, ma'am. You are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. I believe that